Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
Hey, good Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Sentinel Storage. Thanks to everyone for tuning in live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, for those watching on YouTube, and for those listening on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Matt Awanek, Tom Gazzola with you, Brendan the intern with you as we're waiting for Guy Fleming. He was going to try to get here for about 10 o'clock. He might actually be here sooner today. But Guy Fleming taking some time out to join us as well, as it's a big Game 7 tonight for the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Yes.
Edmonton Oil Kings out in PA. There's a lot to get to on the show today as well. We got an Oilers game to get to. I need to go back after Gager today. What he said on the morning show today, I just need to make a couple more comments. Well, he's completely wrong, and he missed a big part of his conversation on the show today. The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider Sentinel.ca right now through April 15th. It's pick your deal with limited units, 50% off 12 weeks, 75% on 8 weeks, 100% off 4 weeks. Check them out, Sentinel.ca.
I have some questions about Trevor's methods when he goes to sleep, by the way. This chocolate milk.
Yeah,
leaving it out.
Yeah, so what does he do? He drinks the chocolate milk before,
but leaves it out, and then in the morning has the rest of it, something along those lines. I find that
room
very
temperature chocolate milk.
Oh yeah,
it sits out for multiple hours.
Yes.
Oh, that's gross.
So bad. Think of all the bacteria that's forming.
Oh, who cares about that? Just cold chocolate milk's the only way to drink chocolate milk.
That is fair. That is a valid statement by Brendan.
I don't know if I've ever really had warm chocolate milk type.
Don't. Yeah.
No, it's like that's
Don't.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
It's a questionable decision. There's no question.
Valid. Very.
It's
just weird.
Very.
I'm not going to try to defend him here.
Yeah. There's no need. I just find that bizarre. Like Dusty with the big glass, a tall glass of cold milk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. That's great. Every now and then, a nice glass of milk, small one's good. But a glass of chocolate milk for bed, allowing it to get warm, and then drinking it in the morning when you wake up, I can't imagine is good for you.
Kind of a power move, though.
In what way?
I do what I want.
Yeah, except the bacteria in the milk will be like, we do what we want too.
And destroy your bowels.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Screw you. Yeah. Bring it. You want to battle? We'll battle.
Game on.
So everyone can go through that. It's not exactly the best. I do like this. James B. Brendan shoving that burger wrapper in his pouch like a pro. Lars, why shove that burger in there, Brendan?
Yeah, it was a napkin because my fingers got dirty. I brought apples and cucumbers for lunch. Instead, I had a teen burger and a chocolate chip cookie for breakfast.
My fingers hurt. What's that? Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Oh, there we are.
Happy Gilmore.
Thank you.
I love that.
I had to think for a second that I wasn't getting that at all.
Because you were washing your hands. My fingers hurt.
I got it. Delicious A&W's, teen burgers. You put yours aside.
I'm going to have it later.
I crushed mine quickly between the morning show and this show. You crushed one too. Just that good.
I was just a bite away from making it before it got on the camera.
Can I quickly Trev is an eccentric gentleman.
That's a nice way to put it. It's fair. He's our guy.
Jasmine, for my science project, I put a tooth in each of the glass of chocolate milk, Sprite, and Coke. The chocolate milk tooth rotted the most.
What?
Also added, I got them from a dentist. Because I was also going to be like, where did you get a teeth from?
Just pulled them. Why not?
But the chocolate milk rotted it the most.
Ew.
I would have never guessed that.
No.
That's just milk sitting out. No,
not a good idea.
After yesterday's conversation, I think we should move on from that part of this. I called out Gager on EST Afternoons yesterday. He then responded on the morning show today, but he missed the key important fact out of all of that.
What?
He came at me, and then he decides to try to call my commissionership into question. Is that Guy already?
That's Guy already.
He said 20 minutes, like 5 minutes
I'll
ago.
move over.
The guy moves.
Well, I gotta get up and.
Go here. I'll go.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Which this is going to be awkward.
Fader?
I'll
You're
have to
off
turn-
camera. There's a lot that just happens.
Yeah, I'll just.
You fix it.
Yeah.
Me and you, Matthew.
Okay, well, it's just me basically on screen right now because you're not there right now. So awesome. I guess I really get my moment with about Joaquin. So Gager calls on my commissionership. He calls me out for, he says, I'm just giving facts to everyone or something. Like, that's all he really said.
Heard that.
Okay, but he didn't point out, he didn't even refer to anything I called him out for yesterday. And I don't know if you heard me call him out yesterday.
Might have caught some of it.
Well,
Refresh my memory.
Yeah, no. So then it all starts with his actions. In our group, EST group chat on Friday, Hernan wrote Ovi. That was it.
Yep.
And Gager got mad. He bit his head off. I'm recording this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at dance.
Yes.
How dare you? Said some things I can't even say on air.
There's some expletives in there.
And then Japanese Grand Prix this weekend. I'm recording it. Hernan's recording it. A
Yeah.
few of us might be recording it.
Saturday night it went. I watched it.
I didn't watch it live. I was recording it. 8 a.m. What a qualifying from Max from Gager. The next night at 12 in the morning, like right at the, just dominance. Like, so I don't care as much that he spoiled it, but he can't spoil it then and be spoiler when he just got mad at Hernan. That was the issue I had.
Yeah.
And he doesn't talk about that on the morning with the morning boys today. No, he tries to call out my commissionership and be like, oh, I'm a much better commissioner. By the way, Gager, when your F1 fantasy league's going into its 10th season, come talk to me, brah.
Yeah, bruh.
Guy Flaming.
Hello, Guy.
Come on in. Join us. That was the quickest 20 minutes I think I've ever seen.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh, you got the real good chair there.
Oh, that wasn't the chair. How's it going, guys?
We're
Hi,
doing
good
well.
morning.
We're doing well. I'm just airing some added grievances against Walking Dead.
Beef.
Oh, I didn't shut the door. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. It's really warm in our office right now. We're trying to get the AC working, and it's not working, so we're going to need a little bit of that.
Good.
We also got teen burgers if you're at all interested in teen burgers. No, Erick.
Son of.
Brendan, when you get up,
got
open that door a little bit more.
Is this
What?
good, dear?
Yeah, that's fine. No, we're telling Dusty to keep that door open, then Eric comes by. So, yeah, it's just going after Gager a little bit. He gets mad at Hernan for our group chat for giving away a spoiler when all he said was Ovi on Friday night when Ovi, I think, scored a goal and was a goal away or tied it or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got all mad. But then this weekend in F1, spoiled it all for us.
That's right.
It's just,
It
it's hypocrisy.
It is.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Exactly. And you know, I just wish Gager would just take some responsibility. That's all I was asking for. But instead, he doesn't even bring it up, and he skirts his responsibilities. And that's cool. That's cool. We'll
I
see. how
can't
this
say
is
anything
next
bad
week.
about Gager. He recommended a windshield guy to me.
Oh yeah.
It's worked out beautifully twice. So
Well,
Gager's a good guy in my books.
He might not give me that place. I might need a windshield place, so you might have to
There you go.
tell me after. Spency 5 cents. He never fixed the fart chair. I don't even know how we would fix it.
It's a
I think we'd have to, like,
factory
poke a hole or
defect.
something.
Yeah, I don't know. We bought them when we started this station.
I'm assuming it's usually guys my size.
Anybody really?
Oh, I could do it.
If you two sat in this chair,
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's got a noise to it. So
does.
I think we've worked in, I don't know why that chair gets used a lot. This chair gets used the least.
Yeah.
That's got the worst one of them.
You
Nobody
just
wants
gotta
to sit
go in
that close.
gently.
Go in gently.
Go in gently.
No.
That goes back to one of your jokes when you got in here, the 20-minute joke.
Yes.
And it ties
That's what
in.
she said. Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
That's where we're going with today's show. Is that what we're doing here?
It's Tuesday.
Guy, this is our
It is
intern,
work.
Brett. No,
No!
don't close the door. Keep it open
Leave
a
it
bit.
open. It is
God,
freaking boiling in
Thank
here.
you. Not you. Brendan and Eric first closed the door. And then Tommy got up to go open it more.
I thought we wanted a
Brendan
little bit more
came by
shut.
and he closed it more when we're saying, don't close the door.
If only
Stop
we
closing
went
that
to
door.
engineering school of some sort and learned about this stuff so we could fix it in this damn building. Who would have thought that a obscure industrial office building from the 60s, maybe 70s, that was somehow a concert venue that got busted for huge drug bust twice in a 5-year span wouldn't be the ideal radio station office with terrible airflow and circulation.
Yeah. You got windows. Like
It is a good spot, though.
You
They
got to
don't
bust
open.
one open.
They don't
They don't
open.
open.
Can you not?
We'd have to
alter
take a
that?
sledgehammer.
But
Oh.
we got a great price.
Yeah. Okay.
We did on Kijiji.
We did.
Found this on
Yeah.
Kijiji.
You guys need to have a window sponsor who'll come in and
Well, we do got an
Trade
SQ
you.
glass. I don't know if they would do something like that. I don't know
trade
if
you
that's
some
possible.
advertising for a window that you can crank open.
Oh, and well, I want one like on the far end.
Yeah.
There's like the roof. We can walk onto the
not
roof
both?
after and then have a patio.
We
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
it's
patio
beautiful.
view.
That would
then
be
move
something.
the studios outside for the summer.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would
Just
be.
run a really long USB cable.
Can do that.
Like it would be great.
Limitless.
Oh,
Beauty.
it's yeah, but hopefully somebody comes today and fixes this AC because it's the boys were complaining a lot yesterday
26
and it is
degrees
warm.
in here yesterday.
Good.
That thermostat hit as high as 27 yesterday.
I'm too big for that much heat.
Yeah, I think
Hernan's-
we're at 22 and a half right now.
Hernan's legs were sweating in his jeans. He was not happy.
Awesome. Should have wore the short shorts.
Literally the Latino heat. Are you talking about my shorts?
I'm saying I should have
Key
worn
part
the
of me.
short shorts.
Those are regular shorts that just happen to ride up when I sit in that chair for all to see.
Just happens, and then nothing blocking the view.
Ever
Funny
since
that.
then, he doesn't like to sit over there.
Yeah,
He takes this spot.
I have no
Yeah.
comment.
got a rating.
Ever since then, he's always now. Whenever there's 4 people, he takes this spot. And when there was that early on, there was only 3 people. He was mad that I wouldn't let him go sit in the spot.
That is true. I did want to sit in this. I like this seat.
I guess let's get into Oil Kings then.
Okay.
Game 7 tonight.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Take us through this series for those that haven't
Okay.
paid a lot, because the Oil Kings get off to a 3-1 series lead, drop 2. So take us through, is this a tale of 2 series type thing right now that we're looking at?
No, I would say
Okay.
it's a very, very close series and was expected to be a close series and that it would go 6 or 7 games. So I'm not surprised that it has. Edmonton won game 1 in Prince Albert. And then they got thumped a little bit in game 2. Then they come back to Edmonton. They win both at home and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You go back to PA and I expected that would be Prince Albert's best game. And they won that one, but it was a pretty close game. Edmonton definitely had their chances. I thought game 6 was the Oil Kings game though. And it got away from them at the very end, a late power play goal. They had a 4-minute power play with about 6 minutes left and couldn't capitalize. And then they took a penalty and that one cost them. So tonight's going to be a tough one. Now momentum is with PA. They got home ice as well. So this should be a game Prince Albert wins, but maybe they've got the pressure now. But I think the Oil Kings are, this is a coin flip for me. I think the Oil Kings can come away with this game just like they did in game 1.
Well, yeah, they've got to feel confident knowing how to win in PA since they did it once.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think where the pressure would go. I feel like PA would feel pretty confident going into this one, but it is their barn.
What a lesson for the Oil Kings, though, right now. And they can utilize it immediately. I don't know if that's possible, but who knows? Game 7 is a wild card, but
Yeah. But you're learning right now. These are building blocks
Yeah.
for next year when their contending window really kind of starts to open. And the year after that, when they should be one of the top teams in the league. These are the building blocks for that stuff. They win this one, that's just more kind of experience in the bank.
that'd be huge.
Yeah.
It's win-win then for the Oil Kings.
Yeah,
You win
absolutely.
this series, you're getting that extra playoff experience. You won a playoff round. You're going into round 2. Who knows what
Yep.
happens? You've got that experience going in next year. You lose. You know what it's like to have the field of defeat. But you also know what
Sure.
it kind of takes to keep going. And there's something to learn. But it's almost like the villain arc you could almost go with next year. Redemption type thing or something like that.
Right.
It could almost be just like win-win for this team since they're not in that championship window just yet.
Yeah.
Whereas PA, where are they? Like, is this...
They're really about a year ahead of Edmonton.
Okay.
They made the playoffs for the first time since the pandemic last year, 1 round and out. And that's where the Oil Kings are right now. But it's so close. Like Edmonton could win tonight and get into the second round. They'd face Medicine Hat. Nobody would pick them to win that series. But their season series against Medicine Hat's dead even. And they've played against Medicine Hat really well. which would be an unbelievably entertaining series because they hate each other, absolutely hate each other. It'll be violent, and it'll be an extremely good series. They just have to win tonight.
Guy, how would you describe the way the Oil Kings and Raiders styles match against one another? Because I caught that last game of the regular season between the two teams, the one where the Oil Kings wore the Flyers jerseys. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
Those were
I
sharp.
loved, it was awesome. I loved PA's feistiness.
Yeah.
The Oil Kings have, as Sean Bell would call them, sequoias on their team, not just on defense, but they're a large team with skill. But I love, they're huge. All of those guys are just giants. But the way PA battled in that game and their kind of FU mindset that I picked up on, I was like, I really have time for that. Is that what we've seen? And
they both teams have some feisty guys
Yeah.
that will like to tangle it up and mix in some cross checks between whistles and things like that. Aiden Oiring is a really talented young player. Well, I think he's 18, 19. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he'll cross check you anytime you're not looking at him. But he can score goals. I think he leads their team in playoff scoring right now. Rylan Kovacevic was an Oil King, went to Moose Jaw last year, won a WHL title. Prince Albert picked him up because of that experience, and he's been, for my money, hasn't got all the points that he probably deserves, but he's probably been their most effective player, in my opinion. Skater, Max Hildebrand, their goaltender, has been their best player. But they're a feisty team. They've got some size as well. Their back end's got some big guys, and the Oil Kings respond with that. Marshall Finney is a beast. They are absolutely targeting him because they're trying to get him off his game because he can get a little undisciplined.
yeah, he's
So
a
if
big
they
boy
can-
too.
If they can draw him into taking some penalties, that works in their favor because they had the third best power play in the regular season this year. So it's been a really competitive series. It's tight checking. Like there's not a whole lot of room for some of the skilled guys to operate. They have a player named Tomas Mersick, who's a St. Louis Blues draft pick. Got hurt a couple of games ago. Took a skate in the chin or on the cheek somewhere in Prince Albert in Game 5, and didn't play in Game 6. So I'm not sure if he's available tonight. The Oil Kings also have an injury. Lucas Sauchin hasn't played since Game 3 or 4 after scoring a goal, and he got tripped up and hit the end boards really hard. So he hasn't played for the last couple of games. So I'm not sure if he's good to go tonight, but yeah, they both of those teams missed both of those players for sure.
Big U pressure on PA. I'd say Edmonton has proven they can win in their barn. PA is the quote-unquote better team standings-wise with home ice.
Barely.
Win-win for the Oil Kings. Go play hard and see what happens for the Oil King. Big U also was like, where could a guy watch the game?
Victory Plus. This is the new streaming service that the Anaheim Ducks use, the Dallas Stars use. It's 100% free, and it's available anywhere on the planet. It's not geo-locked or anything.
Really?
It's high def. Like it's perfect. It's such a win for the Western Hockey League that doesn't have a regional TV market like they do in the OHL, where every game is on actual TV. It's been fantastic. Fantastic. Quality is great. All you got to do is sign up, make an account, enter your email and a password. That's it.
I miss Shaw TV.
Yeah, so do I.
Shaw was great for that. They had the game of the week.
Yeah.
Then they would do the playoffs.
Yep.
Shaw, that was something we really
Was
lost
that
with
Bill
the
Wims?
Bill Wilms, yeah.
Yeah. And who was the play-by-play guy? Dan
Well, Pete Labardius did for a long time. Dan Russell did it before
Russell, Pete.
Mooner would go on.
him. Yep, Mooner would do the Western games,
Joey Kenward,
Eastern games.
Andy
Neal.
Neal, who I worked with in Lloydminster when I first got there.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah, those were good broadcasts.
I still get emails from him. They're all spam, but
Really? Oh,
I think
no.
his email account got hacked 10 years ago,
Oh,
and
man.
every once in a while I get a message from Andy Neal. Like, oh, that's
Nice.
it.
Hey, all right.
Not
But
clicking that link.
So Victory Plus, the Ducks and the
And the Dallas Stars.
That's interesting.
Yeah. they
well,
use
I
it.
mean, their TV. This is where things are going now.
Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true. Like, what's the catch? Absolutely free. And next season as well. I don't know what happens beyond that, if it's just an introductory thing.
The Texas Rangers are now on Victory Plus. Watch
you go.
now, it says. I got to learn more about
That's-
Victory Plus. I'm fascinated by the
They control their own sales, I guess. I'm assuming there's some sort of commercials and some sponsored elements.
Sure. Well, anytime
right?
you go to a TV break,
I shouldn't be able to watch like the Dallas Stars though on here.
you sure can.
That's just crazy.
And the Anaheim Ducks.
That's where I watched the game last night.
There
On
you go.
Victory Plus?
No, Dallas Stars. It does say it's available only if you live in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, or Arkansas.
No, I haven't tried. What did you watch? Oh,
The
you watched
Ducks,
the
Ducks Oilers, yeah. And it was
On
just
what?
Bitcoin, the Victory Plus.
Bitcoin
It says you're not
Bitcoin
supposed to. It says you have to be in the region to watch the game. If you live outside, they will not be available.
Well,
It'll be- maybe Victory Plus is screwed up, or did you change your VPN?
no comment.
You did that. Respect.
Did you not see the shifty eyes?
The WHL one is
That
not
one is
geo-locked.
No,
It's-
but that's just like this is
It's available. You could be watching it in Mexico on a beach.
the frequent asked questions. Is Victory Plus really free? Yes, Victory Plus is a fans first mentality, and that's what that means. We want you to be able to watch your content with your favorite teams in an easy and budget friendly way.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Because where were they? They had their own thing. Did they, WHL Live?
Yeah, and that was across the CHL. Now the OHL and the Q still use that. They don't have the Victory Plus, so this right now is just for the dub.
Nice. Well, there's your way to watch it. El Presidente was a soft call in Game 6. You agree?
What?
Game 6, soft call. Late in the game. I'm assuming that's on
yeah. Well, I mean, there were a couple incidences in that. Is that the right word? Instances.
Incidents.
Incidents.
Where's
and
Reed?
instances. Yeah, spell it. But I thought there were some missed calls, and there were some calls that were made that were kind of questionable. I mean, there was a controversial goal, the last goal. Some debate on whether it was goalie interference or not because they went upstairs for it. I actually have to look up the rule because the Raiders forward was standing in the crease, but I can't really say he interfered with the goaltender, like he didn't bump him, but he prevented him from coming out to cut down the angle of the shot that came from the point. But he doesn't make contact, but he's standing in the crease, so I'm not sure.
Ooh. That just sounds like a full gray area.
Right. So I think there was somebody had posted, I saw it on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it, that there was an NHL situation, or maybe it was an American Hockey League. No, it was in WHL game Portland, where they waved it off, basically identical. So they waved that one off, but this one they allowed. That went against the Oil Kings, so some fans are upset about that. But I don't know if it should have been goalie interference or not.
Yeah, the goalie has to have the right to be able to move, but at the same time, like if you're honestly like it's go bump the player.
Yeah, well,
And
he
then you
was
get
battling with a defenseman. There was a defenseman trying to get him out of the front of the net.
Right, but if you're the goalie, go bump him on that play, like go
Right.
push and fall, and then
Right.
you might get that call. But if you don't go,
Yeah.
they might be, well, he didn't get interfered with
Yeah, you're right.
because, and maybe that's the way they found, then it comes down to the ref's
You're right,
judgment
good
call
point.
on that one. That you have to be maybe just a tad more aggressive for that, I guess. But if the other call went the different way, then who knows? It's great sometimes when you have similar plays and two different calls on them.
Yeah.
By the way, this is Hangout Headlines brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. From premier golf facilities to the corporate branded products, the Ranch is your all-in-one tournament host, proud home to over 180 tournaments each year, including the EST Golf Classic. They're here to help you execute all your tournament ideas. Book your tournament today at theranchgolf.com. I had to remember not to say 120. Murray did not like when I said 120 yesterday. He said it's 180.
Oh, the amount of tournaments.
Yeah, and it's on their
that.
website. It says 120. So I grabbed that part from there, and he's like, "No, it's 180." And it's like, "Great, we're gonna make sure we give them those extra 60 and stuff." They do a great job with the tournaments.
He's on his way to the Masters tonight.
I saw. Yeah, I heard.
So
Pretty excited. That would be an awesome
much fun.
trip for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think that'd be right at the top of the bucket list.
What's VORP?
I think.
Do you know what VORP is?
VORP's important.
Because I heard Dusty losing his mind on the way in about double the VORP. It's double the VORP. We're talking about LeBron James over Kobe.
That's where he
double the
sold
VORP.
me. Was on the VORP thing.
VORP?
Yeah, I have no idea. Well, even he said, I'm not even 100% sure what VORP is.
Basketball.
He's got double
okay.
Kobe's VORP.
Value over replacement player. So I'm assuming it's like war.
Like war.
In
Yeah.
baseball, which is wins over
Replacement.
Replacement.
Kind of a flawed stat.
AI says in basketball, VORP is a box score estimate of the points per 100 team possessions that a player contributed above a replacement level player, translated to an average team and prorated to an 82 game season.
I just like
Help you?
I just like the clip. Double the more.
So it's okay. I didn't know that there was one of those. Is there one of those in hockey? Isn't there?
Anything Corsi related.
But that's not the wins over replacement type thing.
I don't know. I'm just trying to tell you what stats are kind of stupid.
Oh, you're thinking of the team stats, without overtime?
Row,
No, the same as like with the
expected
player. There's the
goals
wins
per
over
60,
replacements,
expected
and then
saves per 60.
it's basically VORP, was it? But I think there's one for hockey, or there'll be one for hockey or something. Which basically you'd be able to do just
There's
say
a lot of made up stats.
a box
in
score
hockey that
estimate of the
minimized.
points per. I don't know how they would do this. There's got to be something like that. I know there's that Jay Fresh has a thing, and I see a war in his infographics.
This is
All those
hockey?
player
Yeah.
cards and
Oh,
stuff like that.
Whatever.
I see.
I look
a
at those and
war
I'm like,
one in
I
that.
have no idea what most of these even mean.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure there's a value to it. I'm not trying to say that's all junk. My brain is just not wired that way. I don't grasp the advanced stats. So then maybe that's a flaw
Guess
in me.
what?
Maybe it's because
You
I'm
don't
old.
need to.
Thanks, Tommy.
Like the Corsi stuff's all garbage. as
No,
far-
there's some good stuff in there, but like when you go too far into the weeds, it gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like if you tried to make this is a very cheap and easy example. If you try to tell me Evan Bouchard is actually not somebody who gives away the puck too much, or his giveaways aren't that impactful, I would tell you you're an idiot. And then you show me the stats of like, oh, well, geez, he actually has possession this much and he only gives it away this many times when he has possession. So really, he doesn't give away the puck that much. And then you watch that first goal yesterday and he puts a muffin into the slot and then they one pass and score. Yeah, okay. Good stat. Thank you. Thank you. Brilliant, Einstein.
There's context to everything.
And
I
I'm getting
remember-
fired up for no reason.
Like
There
Chris-
is value there.
Chris
I'm just
Pronger
saying,
used to be
but some
guilty
them are
of
dumb.
like the most turnovers all the time.
Yeah.
It's like because he always has the puck. He's the guy who's always starting the play. So yeah, his passes get picked off more than anybody else because he's making 10 times as many passes.
Take for example last night. Speaking of stuff like that, especially when it comes from the official scorers, every rink is different. Every set of off-ice officials have a different perspective or understanding of what a giveaway or a takeaway is. I thought that the Ducks, who barely had the puck last night, when they did have it, gave it away a lot too. The Oilers had double the amount of giveaways than the Ducks officially at the end of the night on the score sheet.
I don't know. So you're suggesting there's some bias with the off-ice crew?
I'm suggesting that it's not always 100% accurate.
That's very subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
The hits, we all know that the hits is like one of the worst stats
Yeah.
you could kind of go to.
I've seen a PR guy during a National Hockey League game stand behind the off-ice officials and go, that was a hit, that was a shot, and pressure them into putting it up on the scoreboard and registering it on the score sheet.
Really?
Yes.
Well, when there was a decade of darkness, you needed any win that you can get.
I'm just saying I've witnessed it.
That's
When's your book coming out?
I'd love to write one.
You would
Actually,
have
I had
a
a
lot
great
of-
conversation with Derek Van Diest about this. I think I would probably have one of the best Decade of Darkness books.
I'm sure you
And
would.
I would happily write it. Happily.
Well, get on it.
Yeah. I don't know how to write though.
That's
kidding. I'm
So that's
kidding.
where the conversation with DVD came in?
Yeah,
He's going to ghostwrite it for
teach
you?
me how to read and write. No, but I think I have some great stories.
audiobook it.
No, I can write. I just
And then AI could write it for you.
Daddy needs a publisher.
What was the AI thing? Sorry, I just spit everywhere. That you guys were doing the animal fights yesterday?
It was it came up who would win in a fight, alligator or cougar.
Gosh, I went
And
into
so
a-
I just Googled, I went to ChatGPT and I asked it.
I went into a bit of a rabbit hole yesterday after that. In the evening, I was like, all right, say a grizzly bear and a silverback gorilla. Who wins? And it was like big, detailed.
It was like
holy
tail of the
cow.
tape type thing. Like it's HBO boxing tonight, and
I know.
it's like a full pregame show. We've got you covered here. I think this is how it's going to play out. And they went through like, yeah, it's ChatGPT. Don't screw around with that stuff.
I did the Grok one because I don't have the Chat GPT.
Oh, it's a free website.
I'm guessing it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I've never done the Grok one as much, but yeah, you just say stay signed out and you can enter whatever you want. So, who
pretty
would win in a fight? What are we going to choose here today?
Hulk and
ChatGPT.
Thor.
Oh,
Oh, Hulk
that's nice.
versus Thor. That's a great question.
I'm a giant nerd.
And again, okay, it would depend on several factors. So then it breaks that down, and then there's the MCU and in the comics. So I'll just go right to the end. Ultimately, the fight would likely be close, but Thor's versatility with his magical abilities and weapons might give him the upper hand, especially if he can avoid Hulk's increasingly devastating punch. That said, if Hulk's rage grows enough, he could potentially overpower Thor.
What about Wolverine versus Spider-Man?
I have that comic.
That happened?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. It was good. It
Yeah.
was good. It was actually a really good issue. Spider-Man beats the hell out of him, but Wolverine's smiling the whole time.
Oh.
And then he puts his fist underneath Spider-Man's chin.
So I've got
That-
strengths
that
and
kinda ends the fight
weaknesses
there.
of both.
Yeah.
But the fight breakdown, they've then broke it down to be between speed and agility, healing factor versus endurance, and tactics and intelligence. But the prediction, I want a prediction. Spider-Man.
He wins?
While Wolverine is tough and has a healthy factor, Spider-Man's speed, agility, spider sense, and versatility with his webs makes him a tough opponent to catch or land a killing blow on. Over time, Spider-Man could wear Wolverine down, avoid his claws, and exploit his weaknesses. However, if Wolverine gets in close and lands a critical blow, it could end the fight quickly. But Spidey's, he refers to it as Spidey.
Oh, he's biased.
Agility and reflexes are usually enough to outmaneuver Wolverine in most scenarios. In most comic versions, Spider-Man's intelligence and ability to avoid direct confrontation would give him the edge over Wolverine.
Wow.
So on Cool Bet, Spider-Man is the odds-on favorite.
Damn. Love Spider-Man. And Wolverine.
I grew up reading Spider-Man. It's probably how I learned to read is Spider-Man comic books. Yeah.
Maybe that's how I'll learn.
And then you take that and you learn to write,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then
There
you
you
just
go.
create this great book.
I'm in.
Go talk to Steve Sandor.
I
He'll
should
connect you
talk
with
to
a- he'll
Steve.
connect you with a
That's great
publisher.
idea.
Yeah.
Steve's got his big book coming out in a few months.
Is he?
Yeah, he
Football?
no,
Like soccer?
no, it's on hockey and racing hockey and stuff.
Mhm.
And he's worked on it. It's been like a 2-year-long
Did
project.
you say
or something.
race in hockey, like racism?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't think when I've talked with him, he thinks it might ruffle a little bit of feathers. But yeah, it comes out in September, and I'm very excited to read it. You can get it on Amazon already or pre-order it, and I think chapters and stuff. But he had to get a publisher down south to do it because he couldn't get one up here.
Really?
But he got a big one.
Yeah. The Penguin?
I think it was a Penguin or it might have been Beacon. Well, it was a decent sized publisher. I like it, and yeah, he'd know how to do it.
Good for
Or
him.
Murray. Murray's author.
Murray is an author. Yeah. Sandor's like published 11 books.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
I knew him back when I started getting into media. He was doing the Edmonton sports scene that I was writing. I was contributing to that.
Yeah.
And he also did the Oilers game day magazines.
That's
He was
right.
like the editor of that. And I was
He worked for them.
I was
for a bit.
contributing to that too.
Yeah.
for
Yeah, work
a
with Bunting.
season.
He worked with
And
Damon
Huss.
Bunting. And Huss. Classic.
For the 1 year Huss worked in Edmonton or whatever.
Yeah.
It was 2 years he
That's-
worked here.
That's when it was Edmonton Investors Group. And then it became Rexall Sports. You know what? It was actually really good when it was Rexall Sports and Entertainment. It's when it became OEG that it just became a big faceless, cold.
Different for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped covering the Oilers when the Oil Kings came in because I had to pick and choose, and
Mhm.
it felt quite different. Like I started covering the Oilers. The first press conference I ever went to was the Kevin Lowe with Mike Comrie holding out. I know a thing or two about winning that press conference at Millennium Place. So what was that? 2003,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then till after, I think the season after their run to the Cup final against Carolina. And by then, things had already started to change. Like you couldn't sit down in the dressing room next to a guy for 10 minutes and just shoot the stuff with him. It just felt
Catch.
Thanks. It just started to feel different. And I can't imagine like guys like Brownlee and Jim Matheson and guys who had been around for decades doing it, how much it's changed for guys like that.
It's way different now. Like game days, used to be game days used to be the big one, right? That's where everybody showed up.
Yeah.
You dress your best. You're here to. It's the show. It's today's game is the show. Now game days are nowhere near what they used to be. Like, it's still important, but like they barely make anybody available. If there's more than 5 guys in the room, it's just out of fluke.
Why do you think it is that way now?
Because they want to control more. They don't want them mingling
Bingo.
and talking to people, things getting out. They don't want the little the organic conversations that might provide an interesting tidbit. Fear of like a negative thing coming out.
Yeah. That made it not fun anymore.
Well, they've done a good job of sucking the life out of it. And it's not just the Oilers, don't get me wrong.
No,
it's pretty much
I agree.
league-wide where it's become this way. And it's like really, like game day used to be, you get to the morning skate, you feel that energy, you get ramped up. Yeah. All right, here you go. Here's what you need to know for today. Now it's kind of like, well, yesterday was a full skate. Today, we're going to bring guys to the wall, maybe 3 of them. You can request someone on the side. We'll let you know if you can get. Usually you get your guy on the side, but it's changed quite a bit. Still important, but not as grandiose as it used to be.
Well, I'd like to go to an NBA, like it'd be around a team for a few days to see what it's like. Because it seems like from the outside, like in practice days and stuff, you could talk to the stars.
That's
and
huge.
Then after a game, the stars are always available. And that I'm just like, if I can go sit and talk to Steph Curry most games, if I can go sit and talk with any of the stars most games, why would you, if you're the NHL, would you go the opposite way and be the league that goes, nah, you can't. We're going to control this more. Like, that is a league full of stars where I could see if they're going, yeah, Steph's not speaking today. He's, he has spoken too many times. He's, you guys talk to other people. And I know it's a smaller dressing room too. That plays into it. But it's like, if I can go talk to Steph all the time, why shouldn't you be able to go talk to Connor or Leon or Austin Matthews or whatever all the time? And what you want that as the NHL is Steph speaks, LeBron speaks, these guys speak. It gets on ESPN. It goes out there.
Yep.
People aren't playing what, I don't know, pick a player, Victor Arvidsson saying across hockey.
Well, they don't really talk to him very much anyway.
Sure, but like you get, it's not going to get the
right.
attention. It's not going to be.
But the stars speak. They just speak to the in-house, the Oilers TV crew, and they'll put that on their website.
Right, but
national.
ESPN then's not going to use that much unless like something crazy was happening. But that's where it's like with Steph,
that's the difference.
The ESPN's in that room, the local media's in that room where they're talking to them, and they all get the chance to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you would go the opposite way if you're the National Hockey League. Same, I would actually like the NFL. You don't get a lot of room access, I don't think, in the NFL. I think they control that well, but I think each week you can talk to the quarterback.
Yeah.
After each game, you're talking to the quarterback. Like they don't limit when you can talk to the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's people, they know the quarterback's somebody everyone wants to speak to. Like I'm sure Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson speak every week, multiple times, like before and after a game type thing. So that's why go the opposite way.
The change of the building probably has a lot to do with it here in Edmonton, at least as well, right? I mean, at Rexall, that back hallway. I mean, the players are using it.
Yeah,
equipment guys, media is using it.
Yeah,
you're crossing paths all the time.
That's right.
Now, like they probably have their own little exit right to their cars.
They do. There's a stairway that goes right to the parking garage, in their own caged off area of the parking garage that limited people have access to, the underneath the arena portion, and then even fewer to that caged off portion. They can go right in, and then you never see them. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that back hallway. Yeah. Because if they want to sneak out that one staircase, it would take them out by the box office.
That's right,
where the Gretzky statue was.
Yeah.
If they want to sneak out, but then they'd have to walk all the way to their car at the parking lot where the players parked, which is down where the visiting team locker room was and the security gate.
And even all that open area where the Zambonis would go and they'd keep all the nets and stuff like that. I mean, to go to the visiting dressing room, all of that is wide open.
It was,
and it's just media and players crisscrossing nonstop.
Yeah.
It was not separated.
But it was unique to Edmonton.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No other building. The only other building I could think of that kind of had that was Long Island, Nassau Coliseum, where that story about how they had to walk by the Islanders' locker room after they beat the Oilers in '83. Yeah, you did. That's how you got to the buses for the visiting team. They had one crappy little corridor, and then you had to go from there across into back garage area, if you will. And you could look right into the room. It was, that's the first thing I thought of my first time at Nassau Coliseum. I'm like, oh, so that's what Gretzky and those guys were talking about. I get it. Also, it still looked like it probably did in the 80s when I was there because they did not renovate that building until after the Islanders moved out.
Did you miss the catwalk from Rexall?
A little bit.
I missed the viewpoint.
The view
vantage
was great.
point.
Yeah.
If they made it, 3 times as wide as it was, that would be better.
Like
But-
Montreal. Montreal has beautiful MSG, beautiful. They built a catwalk. There was supposed to be a catwalk type of thing at Rogers Place, and then they value engineered it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had to go on a ladder once at the old catwalk. I was terrified. I was working with a quill at the time, and I had to run a cable or something.
Really?
And I had to go on one of the beams, and I just go on the ladder, and there was no harness or anything. I was terrified. I was holding on to that ladder and grabbed that beam as soon as I could, and was shaking. It was this tips a little bit. It's
Good night, Irene.
Is that
was
like in your days when you were talking to Tortorella, that clip?
no, it was before that.
Where you look like you're 12?
It was before that. It was a few years before that one.
Wow.
Tortorella was early days at 1260. So that was before I was at 1260 when I was working with Aquila and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Tortorella, it was
That was a great clip.
it's a longer version I wish I could get a hold of.
Oh, man. I bet you it's somewhere.
MSG would have it because I think it was
Yeah.
their video where it's because they cut it off online when you see it now. But when Torts goes to the room, you see me then have to panic and be like, where am I going? And then Torts walks right by me. And I don't need this guy to get mad at me.
Have you been around a lot of those kind of situations where the opposition or maybe even the Oilers guys are really heated, blowing up?
I had a few. I have Tom Rennie was so mad at Stoff one time. We were in Phoenix that Bob said something on his show that completely went against whatever the coaching staff was trying to do at the time. And Bob led the scrum, and he knew it was coming. He asked 3 or 4 questions, and Tom just next question, no, next question, no, anyone else? I'm like, whoa.
I remember there was a game against the Florida Panthers when Eddie Belfour, they were keeping him away from doing any media.
Yeah.
Whether in the morning, I don't think he played that night, but guys I think it might have been his DUI when he got pulled over or whatever.
Oh,
was
yeah.
that in Florida or was that in
He had
Texas?
a few, didn't he?
Oh, maybe. But I remember I think Ryan Rishaug was there and Jim Matheson was there. And there was a lot of heated words with the media guy for that team.
Yeah.
That was entertaining stuff the general fan doesn't get to see very often.
I remember Dallas Stars when they had Sean Avery. I was working for the Score at the time. They sent me to Stars morning skate. They're like, you need to talk to Modano, you need to talk to Turco, you need to talk to this guy and that guy. And I was like, okay. And thankfully, that was the big story. It was when was the Avery Phaneuf stuff was happening, and and Modano very openly that's a stupid thing to say. I don't know why he would do that. I think Brendan Morrow said some stuff too against Sean Avery, and then even Marty Turco. They just teed off on their own guy because it was dumb. Yeah. It was really dumb. I think it was the
Sloppy seconds.
Yeah, that's the one. But that was whoa. I had no idea. I thought that was just normal. That this is the kind of thing that you see every day or at least once a week.
Right.
And it's nope, it doesn't happen very much.
I remember when Mike Comrie came back, he was still with Hillary Duff.
Yeah. Remember she was around the rink quite a bit, actually.
Well, remember he took a penalty and they played a Hillary Duff song while he was in the box and he was pissed afterwards. I remember him going off on who was the Aquila guy?
Derek Dolly?
Don Metz?
Don Metz.
On Metsy.
Yeah. Metz was in the I think it was the Sens. Was he with the Sens at the time?
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
There was some heated words going on back there at that time too.
And then Comrie came back to the Oilers after.
That's
right.
a good thing though to do. I respect that about whoever played that.
Yeah. Well,
That's fun.
he didn't appreciate it very
but
much.
he's on the opposing
on the other
team,
team.
so you go do that.
And Metz, I remember Metz was like, I don't know if it was true or not. He was like, it was an accident. We didn't mean to do that.
Oh, Metsy probably
I
had
was
no
like-
problem handling that.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, man. There was so much stuff.
I haven't been around the rooms in a long time that I'm not around anything anymore. I remember Ryan Whitney leading into a trade deadline was very short with me and a couple other people because like I filled in I think for the score ones because for Dusty or something.
That's right.
I had to ask about like trade deadline coming up and he was not happy with me on that question.
I could see that. Dwayne Rollison, when there was the 3-headed goalie monster with Jeff Delorier and Devin Dubnyk, and they were, and Rolly was still kind of the incumbent. I got sent to go talk to Rolly one-on-one by the score and ask him how he felt about the whole situation. And sure enough, I go to Rolly. I'm like, hey, I'm here to ask you about everything from the score. He's like, yeah, no problem. Like he wanted to talk, and he's like, come with me. And he pulls me aside because remember the old room, there were 3 goalie stalls, I think, because they had like the bigger ones, the backup and the starter were side by side. Then they had like an auxiliary one, like just across the room a little bit. So he was facing. So he pulled me aside, and it was where Jeff or Devin couldn't hear what he had to say, and he just teed off. And I was like, oh, that was easy. He's like, this is ridiculous. He's like, I've been in this league for so long, blah, blah, blah. Why do you have 3 guys? You can't even share a net practice. That makes no sense. Those were the days. It was a little bit different.
Have you ever said anything that you needed to apologize for?
Yeah, I remember, but I'm usually pretty good with the guys, but I have pissed them off sometimes. Dubnyk and Devin and I just threw a throwaway question in after he got shut out by Ben Bishop in the Blues, and I was like, Devin, that guy at the other end of the rink is kind of similar in stature to you. What'd you think of his game? And he's like, yeah, he was fine, he was good, and, you could see everything, so made it easy, something like that. And then he goes, Tom, why the hell would you ask me about Ben Bishop?
Really?
I'm like, I don't know, man. I needed to fill. We're live. I got to fill. And he's like, yeah, but that was dumb. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair. You're right. I'm sorry. You're the best. But him and I get along really well to this day. And we had a really good relationship after that. And then actually, Tom McClellan blew up on me in Washington once. The assistant coach's jobs were on the line. It was like a 3 or 4 game road trip, and they went 2-1-1. And they were 2-1. If they had gone 3-1, it would have been like a solid trip. They went 2-1-1. They lost 2-1 in overtime to Washington, and I think there was nobody there to start the scrum. This is when the traveling media really started to get cut down, and it was like me. I think Gene was doing one-on-ones somewhere else, and it was like Jim Matheson, myself, maybe like a visiting team reporter, but usually they send like an intern with a tape recorder, and then like a person from the visiting team also with a tape recorder, but they're like broadcast students, so like they're 18, 19, 20 years old, right? So I was like, well, Todd, I mean, you guys get a point out of this one, wrap up a decent road trip. What did you think of your team's game overall? Just to get it going.
Just a general question.
And he answered it. I didn't notice anything. And then I think I asked one more question. And then Matty jumped in. And then I think the scrum ended in like 2 minutes. And apparently he went back into the coach's room and just ripped me a new one. He's like, F you, Tom. You give me a better question than that. What the hell? Yeah. And so JJ Bear, who was the PR director for the Oilers at the time, came onto the bus. He's like, hey, maybe don't ask the first question. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, Todd's really mad at you. I'm like, for what? He's like, well, like, wait for Gene or something. I'm like, first of all, I've been doing this for 10 years. Go F yourself. Secondly, I've been in this job for like 6 or 7. I think I know how to handle a coach because I've dealt with like 6 of them because you guys suck so much. So maybe you worry about your own job. And I'm like, I'll go talk to Todd myself. He's like, no, don't go talk to Todd. I'm like, screw you. I see Todd the next morning. I go up to him and he's just sitting in a chair like this in the lobby because we stayed in Washington. And he's like, Tom? I'm like, Todd, I heard I made you mad yesterday. Just want to apologize. He's like, I had the crosshairs on whoever asked the first question. It wasn't you personally. It didn't matter if it was that young girl I was going to be pissed off. I was ready to pop off. You just happened to ask the first question. It was general. I know you're just starting the scrum, but with me and you, take me somewhere and I got your back. Don't worry about it. I'm like, so we're good? He's like, oh yeah, we're just fine.
Well, that's good.
And I just remember being like, you're an idiot, JJ. Like, are you like, you've been doing this how long and you don't recognize this? So I just, when you're with everybody on the road for a long time, things get heated.
I had a instance, that's the right word, right? Yes, we clarified that earlier.
We're going to go with it.
Instance, whatever. I was doing a post-game show, probably with John Short, maybe. And at the time, somebody on the top line for the Oilers got hurt, and Yanni Rita was with the team, but still like a rookie. But first round pick, right? And they put George Laraque on the top line. And my argument was, why not just throw the skilled guy up there for half the game and see what he's got? You know, we already know what George is. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He's not going to be an offensive guy.
Right.
And that's an expression I think everyone kind of has heard before. Well, I'm driving home and Ryan Rishaug actually texts me and he says, you might not want to use that specific expression when you're talking to a non-white guy.
Yeah.
Or about him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that I did it. It's just an expression. So I felt awful. I went back the next day and I talked to JJ and I said, this is what happened. If George heard it, I have no idea, but can I just apologize? And so we straightened it out. I don't think he heard it at all, but my gosh, like sometimes you do have to be careful of what you say, but I was glad I was wearing my brown pants that day because you get the feeling George Laraque might be pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a guy I'd like to get mad.
No.
You ever have issues with the Vikings?
Nope, never. It was pretty easy. They took care of me way better than that.
Honestly, though, like, if you know how to treat the media and they know how to treat you and there's a mutual respect there, generally you're not going to run into issues. And if you're a player, coach, GM, manager, or whatever, you can probably massage the media into getting whatever message you want out there. Just how you treat them.
Yeah.
That's just, I swear to God, that's the easiest route to take if you're on that side of it.
And also on the flip side, when there's 82 game season,
It's going to happen.
there's going to be some sort of issue at some point between a player and a media guy.
Yeah.
It's just not, and a workplace. Like, yeah, that is a workplace.
It is.
It is the office for the media guys. When you go down there and with all those guys down there, and like you guys, it's your all's workspace. Here, there's going to be issues every so often between guy. Like, it's just going to happen any workplace. That's just going to happen. So, I just like when people make a bigger deal of it. Sometimes, like the pissy comment from a couple of years ago was a big deal.
Yeah, that was like a confluence of things.
Right, but like you don't generally see a media guy and a player go at it like that so publicly.
Yeah.
And so then that became a bigger story. But they're like, look, the media. If a media member asks on average 2 questions a game, that's 164 questions
They're not
per
all
game.
top
Some of them
shelf.
are going to be bad.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be bad, and that's just what's going to happen.
But the environment isn't like it used to be where those two guys could have
Just go talk about it or whatever.
Yeah. I do remember a coach and a media member almost getting into a fight in that back hallway.
really.
I will not name names, but
right.
that was very
I remember
amusing.
one. I wonder if it's the same one.
Probably.
I think I may have been there for that one.
It was quite a heated exchange. I was very excited to see how that would go down.
Well,
Unfortunately, it got broken up.
We'll have to remember that afterwards.
I also witnessed media on media violence multiple times.
yeah, I've seen some shouting matches between media guys.
I've been in some of them.
Really?
Yeah. I've had there was 3 consecutive years. There was a time where I had to go to defend 1260 and it ended up me yelling with some people.
Wow.
It happens.
Yeah. I won't deny that. I got into a couple of screaming matches with people.
No, this
It wasn't just because of you. There's other ones.
Yeah.
There have been a few reasons that defenses was needed or conversations were needed, and you don't mess with my people. That's that. Portions of this hour brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. We got Guy Flaming from the Pipeline Show, Brendan the Intern, Tom Gazzola, Matt Iwanek with you on the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. I did actually, I saw this message come in a little bit earlier, so I'll get back to it quickly from Mr. Gerbic. Penticton V's fan here. Any word on the expansion draft, Jared?
Well, the expansion draft, I think, is slated for May 7th, right before. That's a busy week because they have the expansion draft, then they have the U.S. prospect draft, and then they have the regular draft. So the V's will be busy that week. Everybody, that's going to be a busy one. No details yet.
Oh, okay.
I reached out to a couple of GMs who would remember what the details were for when the Oil Kings, that's the last expansion team that came in. And it was like, you couldn't pick any 15, 16-year-olds. And I think you could protect, I don't know, everybody basically there was about 5 guys from each roster that were available. And most of them were like 19, 20-year-olds. So the V's won't have, it's going to be
This ain't a Vegas Golden Knights expansion
That's
draft
right.
type thing.
That's right. And it's going to be a real change for the V's. The V's have been a very big fish in a very small pond up until now. Been able to recruit from across the country and lots of Americans. And that's all different now. Now they've got drafts to work with. And they're a small market, like compared to Kelowna, and that's 40 minutes away. Now they're a small fish in a big pond. Well, we'll see how it changes for them.
How do you think this affects like the BCHL now? Because that was one of their big dogs.
It's their flagship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know about long term. I'm sure the league will continue, just like the AJHL has continued, but it's got to affect the overall status of that league. And Chilliwack is also, the Chiefs. It's not the Chiefs who will be promoted to the WHL, but the Dub will have a team in Chilliwack as well the season after next year. So I don't know if the Chiefs will move or what the situation is there, but I think the evolution of junior hockey in North America is still going on. It's only been 5 or 6 months since the NCAA rule change. So it might still take another year or two before it all kind of settles and we see where things are at.
Penticton has a phenomenal facility.
Yeah.
And they have the practice rinks because that's where the Okanagan Hockey School did a lot of stuff.
Right.
It's nice, but you're right. Like, it's not as big as Kelowna. Kelowna is right down the road. But every time we went there for the Young Stars Classic, I'd be like, this is like a WHL/AHL arena. It's super
What's the
nice.
seating capacity?
I think it's like 5,000.
Yeah, it's
lower
good.
ball, suites up top, a lot of room down below, a lot of locker rooms. The V's locker room, the Canucks would always get it. It was beautiful. I mean, I'm sure they'll put more money into it, but I thought that South Okanagan Events Center was fantastic. Seriously.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good that they're keeping the name too, because it's kind of a brand. Like the Penticton V's are a recognizable team name.
Yep.
You know, if it was the Penticton Panthers or something, it'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But that it's the V's, I think that's a plus, and that's a win for the league. So I'm excited to see. I'm curious because I really don't expect that they're going to get out of the gate strong. But Fred Harbison, who's the GM and the coach there, he's a good hockey guy, and he might be able to find some players as like free agents that he can latch onto. We'll see.
What do you think of this expansion for the league, though?
Yeah, I know people are freaking out about how it's the league's too watered down and all that. I go the opposite. This NCAA rule change has just opened the talent pool up immensely. Anybody who was not picking the WHL because they wanted to keep their college eligibility intact, well, now those guys can come and still go to college if they want to afterwards. So you suddenly got access to probably another 600-700 players. Like 2 new teams coming in, that's 50-60 guys.
Yep.
You got way more talent pool to pick from now. That's my perspective.
It's crazy that the last one was Edmonton, because that's 08.
Yeah.
07.
Was it 07?
Yeah, 07,
yeah.
08, yeah.
07, 08. Like that's
06, 07.
06, my bad.
That was their first season?
Yeah.
06, 07, really?
Rogan's been there for that long, huh?
Yep.
He's a day oneer?
Yep.
Day one, or
I think he's the only guy. There might be
Cheese a day
some
oneer?
people.
he was
Till he left?
No.
was second year, right?
Cheese came in. I want to say his first year was 2012 when they went to the Memorial Cup in
Oh.
Shawinigan.
Wow, good for Rogan.
I think I'm trying to remember who was the first year was a fella who then went to the U of A, and I don't remember his name.
Was it Darren?
What's his last name?
What the heck? He's with the Oilers now?
I don't know.
Darren was around a bit, but Cheese doing great with the Elks, obviously.
Yeah.
Those guys are NHL caliber.
Yeah.
They definitely are. And Rogan's so loyal. I can say that because I've known him.
I wish he would
years.
get more opportunities like with Hockey Canada. Like he's
So
been
do
a
I.
junior hockey guy for a long time.
I wish the Oilers would give him a bigger chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the Oil Kings would now.
I'm going to say this. Cheese
right.
passed up an opportunity with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He would be the head guy right now if he wasn't so loyal to the Oil Kings.
Is that right?
Thinking that that would be the pipeline to the Oilers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it will still work out for him.
Wow, he's doing great with the Elks.
Right.
He's their main guy.
Still would be a step up to go to the
Yeah,
Oilers,
that's true.
wouldn't it?
Right, good point.
100% would be.
Couple
So,
more
like
junior
the
rings.
Elks are great, but it's the Oilers are
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
the top team in town. Speaking of Oilers, they've recalled Noah Philp on an emergency basis.
Called it.
Good for him.
Who called it?
He used to play for the Golden Bears.
Did he?
Yeah, just want
Who
you to
told
know
you
that. Reed Wilkins did.
Oh, okay, good.
Reed.
No one else though, right?
Reed has been on the Golden Bears better than anyone else in the city of Edmonton.
I would say he cares about the Golden Bears more than any other media member in this city. Reed Wilkins does. Can't think of anyone else who would care about the Golden Bears more than Reed Wilkins, media-wise, in this
All
city.
right. Fair enough. Good.
Just saying.
Can I just say what an addition Reed and Jay and the afternoon guys with Joaquin and Gage have been to EST? Just fantastic. Fantastic addition.
Oh, great! Except when Gager spoils things when he complains about people spoiling things, do as you preach type thing, Gager. Come on, figure it out. No, they've been great. Reed's fantastic. We already had Jay around for a bit, and we knew Gager, and we already knew Hernan and stuff. I've never gotten the opportunity to work with Reed before.
I never knew Reed either, and I didn't listen to him when he was on the other station. I'm very brand loyal.
Yep.
So when we were all on 1260, that's all I would listen to. I would not listen to the other station. So I didn't really have a whole lot of familiarity with him until he came over here. And because I'm brand loyal, this is all I listen to as well. And I really feel like we have a lot in common. I think I'm like, Reed and I could actually be friends, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a couple of years older than he is. What is he, 51?
50
He is now
just
50.
turned.
He just had a 6-day birthday bender.
Bender.
It's 52?
Yeah.
No,
Or
he's 51.
He just turned
But
51.
on last Tuesday, and then he was gone until yesterday.
Oh, see, look at
just
that.
a full bender for
March
Reed.
28th, my birthday. So our birthdays are right next to each other, too.
Ooh, meant to be.
Look at that. April 1st. That was his birthday. I
Yeah,
remember.
same day as CG.
At CG, choreogram.
We had a little bit of crossover. Well, we had some crossover, a healthy amount when I was Oilers TV and he was
That's
Chet.
right.
So I did get to know him quite well, and I knew I tried to coax and court as much as possible last year, knowing that he was probably coming over anyway.
Right.
But he is. All those guys have been awesome. We're lucky. Knock on wood.
Oh, great.
Reads in the nasty chat. I am now 51 and did not have a bender. Well, that's what you would
You
say
went
after.
blackout. How would you
well,
even
that's
remember?
the thing. Like when you have
you
such a
remember?
bender like that, and on top of that, like it's and then Big Uke Reed's birthday bender was one for the ages.
It was.
James B. Reed's bender was unreal. Max Bezzozus, great benders are the ones you don't remember after. So Reed, like
you go.
it's okay, celebrating 51. We're glad that you went out and you got that, and you showed Ovi how it's done to celebrate.
That's
so we respect that. What I love is he'll really so there was a track and field game
Yes.
that they've kind of brought back a bit. Like
Right.
it's not played as much as it used to be.
Okay.
Like before, all we'd hear is while we're doing the show. But Reed would fixate on perfecting it and getting really good at it and reading about it. And he kept reading and dealing with ChatGPT because I told him about ChatGPT did something once and he got fixated on that. And now it's on the game of 21 and he's perfecting his game and he's got the granny shot going. And the granny shot's working.
It is. It really
so-
is.
I saw Dusty and YouTube Trev playing when I came in.
They do that.
Yeah.
There's a dunk rule now, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the ball goes straight up, you could quickly just dunk it.
Okay.
Is that because you're
That's
part
what it
of this
sounded
league?
like.
I don't know. I haven't used the dunk rule at all.
Oh,
More of a layup guy.
He had a big win yesterday.
That was huge. It's been a long time. Reed, ever since he brought that granny shot in, has kind of waxed me a little bit.
clutch.
It actually really is. And I can't even, like, I ripped it because he had a different shot before. He did like it wasn't even granny, it was just an underhand. And I was like, it's not a good shot, Reed. It's not like, it's going to bounce off the rim. It's not getting the bounce off the rim. It's an easy rebound for the other person.
Is it a plastic ball or is it a foam ball?
Plastic.
It's plastic. It's got good bounce too now. And then I think his granny shot it's hard to rebound. At times.
At times, for sure. But he just gets the bounces. It's got the right spin, or it's soft enough. I don't know what exactly would do it, but it hits the rim and it goes in. Everybody else, it goes awry. We'll hit 4 shots in a row, and then the game's over. Because, I mean, you guys have shot balls on that hoop. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
He made it against you a couple of weeks ago, like 5 straight shots.
Yeah.
Like, it was like he did like 3 shots to go, but he like made 5 from the line.
And then you just want to go sit down. It's like, you know what, Reed? Screw you, dude. I'm done with this game.
What's his VORP like?
His vorp is through the roof.
His big thing yesterday coming back from his bender was, and no, he wasn't on a bender.
You're joking.
He was worried that people weren't playing.
Oh, they were
Like a little
playing.
bit. He's like, were people playing this game? Like, it's like I don't know if he was like fully worried about it or like
Which one, the basketball? or the
Yeah.
track
He's
and
like,
field?
were people playing this while I was away and stuff? Like, he's
Certainly
like,
were.
he wanted to make sure on that. Reed and Jay, they'll be live at the Bell in Scona today from 3 until 6 because that's
Nice.
where Kids Sport bids for kids will be tonight. From 6 until 9 is Reed, Dusty, and the Ford brothers. We'll have a special live show for those in attendance. It'll also stream live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. All in support of Kids Sport, celebrating 30th year. Bids for Kids is presented by GS Construction. We got the appetizer buffet.
Yeah.
Which is delicious, apparently. I wasn't there last year. I'm taking your word for this. I can't wait.
Good. Very good.
Silent auction, 50-50. There is even an online silent auction for a little bit, too. Which I love a good silent auction. I don't know why. I just love looking at silent auctions and trying to get in on them.
I've purchased one silent auction item in my life. It was a Warren Moon signed framed thing, which I'm very proud of. It's in my studio office. But Matty is a silent auction fiend.
I don't think I've won a lot myself. I have the Terry Vaughn picture that I got the Heavy Hockey Showdown from 2 years
You are
ago.
a fiend.
You can go to Glendale. Golf at Glendale.
Glendale's nice.
Beautiful there.
I thought you said Glendon.
Go see Bruce
like
Hardy.
Glendon, Alberta, the town.
No, Glendale. It's
The
a
pierogi on a fork.
wonderful place.
And Jeff McGregor. Lisa's brother.
What does he do there?
The assistant pro, I think. Or head pro. Right up there.
I've got to golf there a couple times, and it was very, it was wonderful.
The ranch
felt
has
very
been teasing
fortunate by
us.
that.
The Quarry, Sinsky, and the crew at
Oh, good
Quarry
point.
put out like a perfect picturesque shot looking back at the clubhouse. I can't remember which 9 it was from, but the hill and the houses, and it was like soon or like a tease, and I'm like, you
It's been a long
stop
time.
it.
I have not golfed probably since the Pipeline Show moved from TSN. What was that, 2017, something like that?
Well,
I don't think I've swung a club.
we only had like 1 or 2 after that, right? And then it went away for a few.
We
years.
did it up until the pandemic.
Yeah,
We did it till 19.
yeah.
20 shut it down. 21 shut it down. And then they said, yeah, we're not doing it anymore.
I love how they ordered the gift, the door prize or whatever.
Yeah. And then we never used it.
And we never used it.
Then we never used it. It was a couple of them. Some of those were dropped off for us. They were just nice jackets.
They were
Okay.
really nice,
They
Jack.
were-
Jean
I still
jackets?
wear it. No, we did bring those back this year for the EST Golf Classic
good.
or last year. No, nice. How would you define
Sun
those
ice,
jackets?
like-
Sun ice jackets.
Spring jacket, fall jacket,
Yeah, very nice.
soft shell.
I remember I was showing them, and then the tournament never happened, and then we never did anything ever again with them. And then I don't know, we had to get rid of those jackets. And
They're like, we've got 100 of them sitting in a unused office. You guys want one? Well, yeah. We worked for the damn station.
that's what I was looking for. I wanted to look up the ranch on social.
Right, because Murray said they were announcing
They're
today.
announcing some point today. Stay tuned to the socials. Nothing's been posted as of yet.
See, I listen. I watch.
You may listen to more people around here, like some of us. There's a float thing. I might have to bid. Hey, Larry Zima's bidding on something. Good old Larry.
Ernest at Nate.
You know, I've
So
never
good.
eaten at Ernest.
Oh, it is phenomenal.
You ever eat at Ernest?
Hidden
No,
gem.
no, I read commercials for them and the duck eggs and this and that. And
No.
I'll
They
pass
do-
on all that.
they
And it was
do
right
more
across
good
the
stuff,
street.
too. It's
Yeah.
great.
So was the cafeteria that had,
That cafeteria
grilled cheese.
pretty clutch too.
Yeah.
That's true, but like a one time, like I want to
Never.
go try that. Did you ever go to the retail meat store? Like, was that
The what?
the retail meat store?
They have a meat
Oh, yeah.
store.
I still go.
Yeah.
So does Eric.
Yeah.
He graduated 28 years ago.
Yeah, I went and got steaks there last week.
There's some deal going on right now. I think I saw it on socials. A little percentage
Is it
thing.
exclusive to Nate alum?
No, it's open to anyone, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Well, I said they used to be in this back room that
Yeah.
no one knew about. Now they moved it into like a open
The main
traffic
hallway.
area.
Yeah.
But it was just like, what was it? What's their slogan? Retail meat, student friendly prices. I
Okay.
think that's what it is.
Well, it's the artisanal food market now, is what they
Yeah.
changed it to.
Right.
I don't know what their slogan was.
But would
Oh.
you not go by Ernest and just catch a whiff of whatever they were cooking
Eyes
up?
wanted to go
Well,
in.
Yeah.
I'm picky too, right? Like,
Like Dustin Picky?
I think it's been decided that it's pretty close.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm fairly picky too.
I don't really care for the fine.
Cuisine?
Yeah.
Would you eat pierogies?
Pierogies, yes. But I'm
Dusty
not a
needed to be
sour
con-
cream guy.
Really?
I love
I
sour
agree with that.
Just I cook my pierogies and what's inside your pierogies.
Does that matter?
Yeah, it's
But
just
it's
I don't
potatoes.
care for the
cheese and
cabbage.
potato.
Oh, you want to know something? I've grown into the cabbage.
Cabbage
I-
rolls.
I grew
story.
up
No, see, I
having
don't
to
like
eat the
cabbage rolls.
potato and the sauerkraut ones inside. And I just like, I didn't want to touch the sauerkraut ones. As I've grown older, I think I prefer the sauerkraut, sour cabbage ones over the potato one. They are delicious.
Yeah, I'm not a sauerkraut guy either.
I've gone into it's done so well.
My stepfather's from Winkler, Manitoba, and there they put this white sauce on their pierogies. That's not mayo, but some sort of white sauce, and they love it. I found it to be disgusting.
Where's that key?
Winkler, Manitoba.
Winkler. Interesting.
Yeah,
And not sour cream.
I've tried
but
it.
it's not sour
yogurt?
cream. I don't know what
No,
it is, but
yogurt
I
on
found
a
it to be
pierogi.
awful.
Well, Greek yogurt can be a substitute for sour cream. Like
No.
they are they are similar in a way. That I was wondering, maybe that's what they're looking at. Do you like Greek
no,
yogurt
I'm-
at all?
No, I don't. I don't like yogurt. I don't like the
Oh,
texture
okay.
of it.
Interesting. What was the thing that the Gager just came in and made Dusty eat? There was something pretty recently, and he liked it.
I don't know. I wasn't here.
Shrimp. I heard the shrimp one.
There was a shrimp thing, but it wasn't that. This was only like a couple of weeks ago. I feel
Oh.
like. You remember?
It was in the studio.
Yeah.
I remember the whole production behind it, but I don't remember what it was.
So it's not the pickled herring.
No, it wasn't the pickled, but he owed that pickled herring, which I think is still in the fridge.
I wouldn't
He'd
have
like
done
some
that
pickled
either.
herring.
No, no.
Oh.
Pierogies for me, it's just like I pan fry it in butter, like I boil it and then pan fry it in butter, and then bacon bits. That's
Well,
it.
we had some here. My parents brought some before Christmas, and he wasn't going to eat any. And her was like, "Well, why not?" He's like, "Well, I don't like. No, I don't." And then he's like, "It's just potato," and then he ate it.
Yeah, your mom is an awesome cook. But her food is phenomenal. Whether it was the Ukrainian or the Italian, it was amazing.
She's learned.
She's
learned
great.
how to do the Ukrainian side too with it and all that.
I will stand by this. Polish cabbage rolls are far superior than Ukrainian cabbage rolls
Because of the meat.
because they're bigger. The meat, the tomato sauce on top, so much more.
Jay got it. I think I brought green onion cakes. That it? I think that was it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had green onion cakes?
Yeah.
Would you eat green onion cakes?
yeah. They
Did you
don't
have
do
any?
it.
I did not have any.
My
Okay.
wife loves them. My son loves them. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I love them, and I hate onions.
Mm.
That's one of the few things I will eat onions with, though. Green onion cakes, delicious.
We put them in sweet chili sauce too.
yeah.
I don't need the sweet chili chili. Like I could eat that
And
just
some soy
as
sauce.
is.
Mix the sweet
Yeah.
chili and soy
Oh,
sauce. Mix it.
Good combo.
Oh,
Getting hungry.
that sounds like a good mix. I've never had that.
That's what my wife does. So
That sounds brilliant. A couple of texts to get to 780-218-9999. This one says Cattail opens Thursday for golf. Shout out to my buddy Gord Shamahorn
16 and Sunday.
my boy Mark over there and the crew at Cattail.
where is that?
That's Valor Road and like
Where's
100
that?
and something street.
97th Street, just
Yeah.
right north of the city. Like you go past the Henday.
Not as far
it's
as the Goose. Stomach?
No, it's right out. It's just like the Henday. Like, okay, here's the city limit. Here's Henday. Here's Cattail.
Yeah.
Jeez, isn't that the Garrison?
It's right beside the Garrison.
Before the
It's
Garrison.
like 2-minute drive away from Garrison.
All right.
Yeah, if you
Couple of great courses right there.
The road to
Cattail
get to
keeps getting better.
Cattail, you head east at the lights, go north, and there's Garrison.
Okay.
Love Garrison.
The crew has done a great job with Cattail. I know it's a busy course, a lot of activities. They've done a great job renovating that clubhouse. It's a lot of fun. The rates are decent, and they have like Twilight Golf there.
Okay.
They have a lot of cool stuff, a lot of kids activities. So shout out to them. And then Garrison, Matt at the Garrison, they're fantastic as well. So good bang for your
We do
buck.
have a lot of great golf.
Yeah,
in
we're
town.
fortunate for sure.
Yeah, just got to keep an eye on when. Oh, the Elks have just announced season single game tickets.
Collingwood Rob, I didn't know about this.
Tickets is starting at $20 for the Elks single game tickets.
Good.
And they
change
2025
for
game
now?
theme. I think that's about standard. Although Belsey bought season tickets for the standing section, works out to be just over $15 a game.
Nice.
Yeah, well, everything you
Good deal.
save on tickets, you spend on booze in that section. It's a little rowdy.
What did Collingwood Rob say?
Collingwood Rob said this. Hungarian cabbage rolls are the same, TG. Have you had the Polish cabbage rolls at Continental Treat? Delicious. I have not. I love that the Hungarian ones are the same. I love just how they're made. Like, it's just, they're bigger, right? They're not just bite size. You got to cut into them. I put sour cream on them. Some people say that's weird, but I just...
Sour cream on cabbage rolls?
Yeah.
That is weird.
It is a bit different. I admit it, but I to me, delicious. Chef's kiss.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know about that. The Hungarian style is the same. That's very good. Very good. Bones says Triple Creek near Millet opens on Permanence Friday. Bones, damn, good dig on that one. Green onion cakes. And then, Guy, we had a question for you
Sweet.
from Bronco Nick.
Swift Current fan?
No.
Denver
Where the hell did
fan?
it go?
Denver Bronco.
Ask Guy which Oiler goalie in the system has the greatest upside. They they signed
Oof.
Nathaniel Day the other day.
Yeah.
They
And
got
I
the
think he had a
Finnish kid.
shutout in his first game, didn't he?
Nice.
But is he playing for the, like, in the ECHL, the Comets?
I think so because they have a different kid that just made his AHL debut.
Okay.
I gotta look up his name.
Honestly, I think they have a Swede that they're pretty high on who's having a good year. I want to say it's Janssen, but that just sounds like a cliche, stereotypical Swedish name. Honestly, I don't have a list of Oiler prospect goalies in my head. Does that ring a bell though? guy they would have
I'll have to look
taken?
it up. Brett Brochu's the one who made his AHL debut for the Condors, I think last week.
The Oilers actually own his rights? Brochu?
I'd have to look that up. They're so desperate down there for healthy bodies.
Okay.
It's the infirmary is
Whatever
full.
happened to Ryan Fanti?
I think he's in.
They signed him as a free
He
agent
should
out of
be in the
college.
ECHL. I remember he was hurt for a good chunk of last year, and he was just rehabbing up here.
Okay.
I think he was in camp.
Because he was terrific as a collegiate, a goalie. Just
Where's he now?
hasn't panned out yet as a pro. The Swedish goalie, I'm trying to remember his name. I think it's Jonsson.
Fanti is playing with Syracuse Crunch of the American
Tampa's
Hockey League.
team.
He
No,
did.
He's not with them anymore.
He split time this year with the Orlando Solar Bears of the ECHL. 37 games there and 5 games with the Syracuse Crunch.
That's Tampa's team.
Is
yeah,
playing
so he's not with them
career.
anymore.
After conclusion of this contract with the Oilers, he left as a free agent and signed a 1-year AHL contract with the Crunch at the start on July 2nd.
Yes, green onion cake. Samuel Janssen.
Okay, there you go.
Then he closes the door.
And I think he
What's
was
with this
like,
closing of the door, guys?
I think he was like the top goalie in the Allsvenskan or something this year.
Which is the second division, right?
Yeah.
He. So many ads on Elite Prospects. Did play a game for Firestad this year. 17-6-0 with a 922 and a 188 with
So that all sounds good.
yeah.
How big is he?
Carl Skaga and Allsvenskan. 6'5",
There you go.
buck 95, 21 years of age.
So I would say he would be the answer to that question from my perspective. But I don't know his contract status, if he's
Samuel
coming over for
Janssen.
next year or what.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Reed
unsigned.
confirmed. Fanti no longer with the Oilers.
Yeah. He is Janssen is unsigned 2022 fifth rounder, 158th overall. So probably have to address that at some point.
What else? More questions.
Olivier Rodrigue, that's the other one. That's like, what did you make of him yesterday?
He's fine. Goalies that get hung out to dry don't usually have success in the win-loss column.
Yeah.
That
Go
happened
figure.
again. Hey, how about that?
Yeah. Well, I heard Joaquin talking about him. Like, he's pretty slight build. He's got to
He's skinny
fill out
guy.
a bit.
But I mean, he seemed to play aggressive. I'm not the goalie whisperer or guru by any means, but I didn't mind him. He made some nice reflex saves, I thought, on some good opportunities. He faced a lot of 2-on-1s and some 3-on-2s. He fell victim to the Oilers' giveaway machine.
Right.
And soft coverage in front of their own zone.
And now the Oilers have to fear missing the playoffs. Says that one texter into the morning.
That was wild because they could have clinched last
To
night.
the Flames, right?
Yeah, so the Flames basically would, for the most part, have to win out, and the Oilers would have to lose out. And if they don't have the big guys, it's done. Like the Oilers, don't even get ready for the playoffs. They're done.
Well, they've got St. Louis, who they're on fire. Winnipeg is still better than Edmonton.
They get the Sharks
2 against
twice.
San Jose.
They got the Sharks twice, Blues, Jets, and Kings.
And so
Now-
the Kings are beating them too.
So
So they got to win both against San Jose.
They need one of those,
Okay.
I think. And then the Flames have to win out too. And the Flames, they get the Ducks, Wild, Sharks, Golden Knights, and Kings. They losing to at least the Golden Knights, I would have to say.
And the Kings.
Potentially. Well, the Kings in that game might be, if everything's settled.
Resting guys.
We're resting.
No,
we're
the
getting ready
Wild-
for the playoffs. And
Load
stuff.
management.
Yeah.
My God.
In regard to like last night, most people were pretty calm about it. First of all, it was super late. Like we got off the air at 12:15, I think. Or even later than that. Anyway, there were some people freaking out. This team's not going anywhere. This team sucks. The person texting and saying they're not going to make the playoffs, which is ridiculous. But you look at the team that they iced last night, that roster was a preseason roster.
Yeah.
Right, and I know the Ducks aren't particularly great. They're stronger than they were last year. They played Edmonton well this year. They won the season series, for crying out loud. But I don't put a ton of stock into that game last night in regard to the future of this Oilers team.
Sure.
When you're missing, I think we counted 6-7 guys. I mean, Klingberg, whatever. But McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, Skinner, Kane, Frederick. Like, good chunk of your
Did
team.
they
was
rush
making
Frederick
it.
back?
And I don't know, like, because he was supposed to play last night. And don't you think that re-aggravation would have happened anyway?
Maybe.
A day and a half later.
That's what Reed and I were, or Hernan and I were talking about on the show. And I think no matter what, there was no way to, clearly with this injury, there's no way to replicate that in practice.
Yeah.
That whenever he was going to play, this was going to happen. And if this, I feel like almost even if they waited 2 weeks and he didn't play until the playoffs, there's a chance that this would have happened.
Right.
Because you'd never, like, he's not been able to test it and work on or whatever this is. And so, at the very least, he was supposed to play Monday.
Yeah.
Or, like
I
last
assume
night.
he was practicing. Was that not
He
testing
was.
it?
Why? And then he felt fine. That's the thing. So if he feels fine, like, I don't think there was ever a way to fully know whether this was going to happen.
Right.
And even if they sit him out for a couple of weeks, it might be the same thing. I feel fine.
Right.
I feel fine. And there's a chance that this happens.
Just optically, it looks bad.
Yes, and I'll add to this. You look at the guys that this team has accumulated this season. Roby Arventi, who they traded Xavier Bourgault for, had apparently got another procedure done in January on his knee that he's been rehabilitating. Hasn't played, right? Damaged goods. You go and you sign John Klingberg.
Yeah.
Damaged goods. You pluck Alec Regula
Yeah.
from the waiver wire because you're going to outsmart the Boston Bruins. Damaged goods. You trade for
forgot about
Trent
him.
Frederick, and he comes back, plays 7 minutes,
Yeah.
barely gets out of his first shift, which was 6 seconds long. And he's back on the shelf. Damaged goods. What the hell?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, then they signed these 2 Euros. for next year.
Great. Awesome. Don't have any faith in them. Not because I don't think they're good players. I just don't think these Euros ever pan out.
Yuri Depita.
Roman Cervenka?
There's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Hey,
going
on the
here?
one hand, you got to look at the positive side of it. Would be the spin. Would be they're beating the bushes. They're doing what they can. They're trying to find
You grab 10 of these guys, hopefully one pans out. type
right.
thing.
great.
Right. And they're not expensive,
Nope.
but
But you get 10 of these guys and you wasted X amount of money when you could
That's-
have, in
that's the other
plain
side.
sight, hunted down something that
Yeah.
was prime.
yeah, or just kept Holloway.
The Frederick one, I'll just always go back to is if there's one thing, like I could even take away the injured player part of this.
Mhm.
If there's one thing, it was you paid extra for salary retention. So you can get Frederick in the end for 7 minutes.
If he walks,
What did they pay extra?
Max Warner, a second.
Because they had to get New Jersey involved in
Yeah.
this.
They had,
Oh, wow.
Whereas as opposed to, you could have just brought his whole, you didn't need any retention because you could set LTIR and him not play until playoffs.
Right.
You could have just done that. And we're getting a guy who's injured. Right away, Chris Johnston said he thought, that he was hearing that there was a chance that he might not play until playoffs.
Yep.
So that news was out there. So there was one thought that could be it. So you didn't need to go get the salary
Wow.
retention. So it's just to me the asset management. Okay, so what in the end did they have to give up extra in this deal? Like what would have the deal been if it was just them and the Bruins versus the deal with them, Bruins and the Devils? Those extra pieces, who knows what they could be? They could be just a player at the draft that
yeah.
pans out 6 years
Yeah.
from now for the Edmonton Oilers that you've lost because you got the salary retention for 7 minutes. It's just asset management. I hate the waste of asset management
Yeah.
and stuff.
I agree.
So we'll I don't know if we'll be able to do that. But we'll see.
Not
Let's
looking
see.
good.
If he comes out and he's healthy for the playoffs, then when he plays in the playoffs and he produces, the salary retention part I'll still not like, but
Sure.
bring him in. Okay.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't produce, or if he doesn't, like, heaven forbid, he doesn't play much in the playoffs.
Is he signed beyond this year?
Nope.
Oh.
UFA.
Wow. So that
That's where it gets juicy.
wow.
Yeah.
And it's what, high ankle sprain or an ankle sprain
High
type
ankle
thing?
sprain.
That's
Which
ugly.
is not easy to recover from
No,
during
Belzy-
a season.
Belzy described his yesterday, and like, you don't know. It's a wild card. You might feel great walking around, and then you put that skate on, and you don't have that extra snap in your stride. It's just not there, and then you don't know when it's coming back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know Reed did say that the Oilers they're not. What did Reed say? Where is Reed in this? Why can't
Probably
I
on his
find?
bender still.
Well, he says Fanti no longer in the system. Playoffs not a sure thing for the Oilers' work to do, and that's where, to me, it's the magic number. I think is officially 5 points. But all they need is the Flames to lose one game in the regulation, or the Oilers to win one game, or the Oilers to win 2 games, and it's over.
Well,
And
they
that's
could've
even
clinched
5
last
points.
night.
Well, that's the thing, and that's like, it's even if the Oilers win 2 games, it will be enough to clinch the tiebreaker that it makes it actually 4 points. So like, really, when you look at the 2 schedules, the Flames are losing a game.
Yeah.
The Oilers are winning a game at the very least. Like, that's where I'm just like, I don't think that there's work to do. They got to go get it done. Look, they could go on a massive losing streak, but in the end, one of those Sharks games, if they really had to, you'll see McDavid and Leon play, and they'll go out there because they're apparently ready for playoffs. If it was playoffs, so like if they need that 2 points, they'll go out there and get the 2 points if they need to. So I'm not worried. And I don't think anyone should be worried when it comes to that. The official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend in 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada, where you can enter your postal code and find a liquor store or an establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. Just back to Oil Kings PA today.
Sure.
Actually, the season. How's it working with Matt Barrett this year? Because it's year
He's
1 with
good.
him, yeah.
There's
You have to
an
learn.
age gap.
Yeah.
So all my pop culture references fall flat, and he's dancing with all the electronic dance music that they play.
He's
in the house.
dancing to that?
Oh yeah, he gets down.
no.
And
An EDM
he
guy.
starts grooving.
Interesting.
So that's different. Call's a great game though, and I think we've built the chemistry over the course of the season. So it's been good. It's good. It's good to have a different sort of a vibe.
Well,
Different.
you
different
are
vibe.
incredibly hard to work with. And
That's
get
what I've been
along with.
told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a true diva.
So keys for tonight for the Oil Kings to get this done. Like, if we're talking about the Oil Kings going to the second round, what do they need to do tonight?
I like them when they're forechecking, hard on the forecheck. I think that's when they're playing their best. They've got to do a better job of getting out of their own zone. Guilty of some bad turnovers at times, and even at the opposition blue line. Grayson Sauchin, God love him, this kid's a wizard with the puck and makes so many plays where you're like, I can't believe he just did that. But when they don't work, they're just sloppy turnovers. And that led to a shorthanded goal in the last game that ended up costing them. I think he's going to be really motivated here tonight, which is a good thing for the Oil Kings. I don't know about Lucas Sauchin, if he's going to be able to get back into the lineup or not. I think they just have to be aggressive on the forecheck, stay out of the penalty box, and clean up their own zone, and I think they'll be okay.
You mentioned the Oil Kings goalie earlier. He's been...
Ethan Simcoe has taken over the net. I'm not sure who's playing tonight because now he's lost 2 in a row. So do they go back to Alex Worthington, who started the season as the number 1 guy? Not sure. Now it's a situation he hasn't played since game 2. And Simcoe hasn't been bad. It's not like the losses are on him. So I would probably lean to sticking with Simcoe, who's played the last 3. But I guess I wouldn't be stunned or shocked if they went the other direction. Just based on that, what would you guys do? Would they go back to the guy that was the number 1?
So the number 1, he played
games?
2 games?
Yeah, the first two.
Why pull him after just 1 loss?
Because they've been a platoon team since Christmas or since early December. And for me, I don't know, a lot of platoon teams where they go with the tandem, they evenly split them, they go away from that in the playoffs, and that always kind of confuses me a little bit. If it got you that far and it's worked for you, keep doing it.
Because it goes against hockey.
I guess.
Right? I think that's the thing. I remember getting this thing with, I think, Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith. I thought, like, going into the playoffs, like, you rotate the guys.
Right.
Because that's what you were doing throughout the season. And it was just like, no, I think it was the bubble year where they just went with, who was it? I think Mike Smith started the first game.
Koskinen did get in there, though.
But then Koskinen went in and he played the rest of it, I think.
Yeah. And lost.
But there was no, like, and I'm with you. Like, if that's what you work throughout the regular season, stick with it.
Yeah. So that's why it wouldn't surprise me if they went back to Worthington.
Yeah, so one guy's played.
But Simcoe's had the better numbers if you were going to go with one guy.
So it went 2 games,
2
4
and then
games.
3. 2 and then 4. Yeah, games 3 and 4, 5 and 6 were all Simcoe.
So I said, that is a long break. But
so I probably go
But
back
what is that? Oh, how long would that have been? Like a week?
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of double headers in there. Games 1 and 2 were back to back. 2 and 3 were back to back. Tuesday,
1 and 2
Wednesday.
were back to back.
Yeah.
And they didn't switch goaltending there.
No.
I know it's coming
Same
off a
with
win.
games 3 and
but
4.
the hockey is, though, you switch goalies on a back-to-back and stuff. You don't see that in the playoffs as much.
Know. Well, that's a weird schedule for playoffs.
But Worthington was good in game 1. He
You want to know something? I'd go back to him.
You would, hey?
He got the PA win. You've done this throughout the year. And he'd be hungry. He'd want, like, there's a guy he wants to get that net back.
I don't think there's a wrong choice. I don't know that he's back with the team next year, whereas Simcoe will be, I think. That's not for sure. That's just my hunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that plays into it
Different
at all.
professionally versus, I think, junior-wise. Where, like, professionally, you might piss off that goalie. He's got the contract, and you got to deal with that. Whereas junior, younger players, and you could talk about what's the development, and we're growing you. And, you know, he is the older guy. That's where we're going with him, maybe. Yeah. In that sense, you played great, but we're going back to him. We've done this all year, so maybe from that perspective, you don't have to worry about it as much. What would you do?
I would bring in the guy that won PA.
Okay.
That's Worthington.
You're saying there's no wrong answer, but there is, in a sense. If whoever they start lets in, you know, a couple early goals, immediately you could then make the argument, wow, this is the wrong choice, type. Like, but it's, I think going in, like, it's hard to.
It could be a short leash.
Yeah.
Just, you know, but.
That's, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they could pull off this win. It'd be great for the development. As you've said, next year kind of is like.
Next year, I think the window opens for actual contending, where they should be a top 4 team in the conference, and hosting in the first round and get a couple 2-3 rounds into the playoffs. Yeah.
That's a quick turnaround, no?
Every 5 years they seem to do it. They started in 2007. They won the league in 2012.
Yeah.
And then they were in the final in 2013, won it in 2014 and the Memorial Cup.
Yeah.
5 years later, they were contending with Prince Albert, got to the conference final. The next year would have been their year to go for it. They were the top team in the conference. COVID hits, wipes out the playoffs for 2 years. As soon as they come back, they win.
22. Yeah, I guess it's already 20. Like we're going into 26 next year and stuff. 25, 26 season. I just feel like it felt like it feels like yesterday that there was 22 and they were winning that title.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it has been a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame. Should have had a couple more banners.
Yes. Yeah. 2020 and 2021, they would have been just like those 3 back-to-backs in 2012, 13,
They
and 14.
win next year or the year after. Get rid of that Garth Brooks banner. Put it down
You're just
that
hoping that they
corridor.
keep inching closer to Garth Brooks and
pull that.
we can't do
I
anything with this banner. Like, well, we got to take it down now. Oil Kings have won too many.
I volunteer to OEG, whoever, because I know they listen and watch. I will be the guy with glee pulling it down from that rafter, and I will happily display it proudly display it in the corridor between Rogers Place and the downtown community arena, where it rightly belongs.
Now, why do you feel that way? Because you don't like Garth Brooks? Because you think it's stupid that they hung a banner up for a musical
The
act?
second one. I think Garth Brooks is a tremendous artist. I love what he does. I love the sense of community he and Trisha Yearwood create. I love the economic impact that he stimulates wherever he goes and plays. I like his vibe, very positive. I even have respect for Chris Gaines. But that banner that says 9 sold-out shows is ridiculous.
They have it in other arenas around the world, including crypto.com.
Here's another story. Here's why I would be perfect. Yeah, I know. Here's another story that I could add to my book about the Decade of Darkness. This is just a little one. They tried to fly Wayne back from Washington, D.C. to present Garth with that banner. And I was with him.
Wow.
And he's like, oh my God, they want me to fly back to Edmonton tonight to give Garth Brooks some kind of banner. He doesn't need this banner. He doesn't need me giving it to him. And then eventually we had to record, my producer, shooter, Jeff Nash, had to record a video. Congratulations that they just sent back.
Wow.
In 2015, Kobe Bryant surprised Taylor Swift at her show with a banner at crypto.com.
Wow.
The top teams do it. The
There's
top
Billy
markets
Joel,
do it.
there's
I'm just saying,
Elton John
when when you want to be a big boy, this is what the big boys do. Small market teams, small cities don't give banners to artists. The city of Edmonton is a big city.
No,
and this is
it's
how
a
they have
small, big
and
city.
even Kobe Bryant did it. They brought Kobe out to do it, who was like one of the 3 icons of LA. It was Kobe, Magic, and Sandy Koufax. Boom.
I wish they would display all the Oil King banners, like all the
So do I.
division and conference banners, but they don't put those up. They don't even have, like, are they visible anywhere?
I was about to say, I
on
don't
the
think they are.
concourse?
I don't think they're anywhere.
They have that mural when you come up the escalators from the 104th Avenue entrance, where it's mostly Oilers stuff. And then, like, you can
That's a
see
shame.
the Oil Kings kind
Like,
of.
when's the last time you guys were at the Centurium in Red Deer?
I've never been there.
I've never
Never?
been.
Never.
Ever.
I've driven
Man.
by it many a time.
You walk into that building and it's just banners of all their former players that have made it to the NHL.
That's how
Cam
you do
Moon's
it.
got a banner. And like
Mooner's
a
got one?
photo.
Yeah,
a
he
photo
was
banner.
surprised by it. He didn't know about it.
I wanna take a picture with that thing.
a photo. It's not just their name.
Right.
It's not like the Garth Brooks one, but there's like Dion Phaneuf and Ryan Nugent Hopkins, all the guys that have played over the years.
Yeah.
Because they celebrate.
I'd always
their
want to have as
history,
many
and
banners
We don't
as
have
possible
that here with Edmonton, with the Oil
They're-
Kings.
Like you go into Claire Drake and you just see all the banners that they have
Yes.
from all the different names of it, but from the West Championship to national championships,
Yeah.
and then the Pandas as well. And you look around, you're like, look at all these banners. Like it's incredible. And I think more banners the better, especially from a sports perspective.
I have buddies that play on that team now, and they were getting recruited by, forgive me, I don't know the name of the coach or whatever, right? But they sit down in a room, and I'm like, so like, what's the recruiting process like? And they're like, well, they just look at you and say, you want to win? Like, we win here.
Yeah.
In your 4 years, you're going to win 3 3 times.
Yep.
Like,
The Golden
you
Bears?
yeah. Are you coming or not?
Yeah, and then all
It's
the
like,
hot
oh.
girlfriends sit in that section, and all the girls that want to hook up with you sit across the ice in that section.
Yeah.
Your choice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm biased, so because I'm a junior hockey guy, but it bugs me when I see NHL jerseys at Oil King games. Like
You see a lot of that.
they're not playing.
I noticed
Like,
that the
did
other
you-
day.
Were you thinking you were coming to an Oiler game?
Well, we've had this guy, and it's like,
It's like Rob Lowe wearing an NFL hat to the football game.
Oh, that is sacred.
although some people do
I'm
want
a
that.
sports fan. Go sports. It'd be like
It's-
me wearing an Iron Maiden T-shirt to an ABBA concert. It's music, same thing.
No, that
I
is
like
actually
music.
pretty
And
true.
you be you. At that.
Well, that's what, like,
situation.
but we've got like you see Rider jerseys everywhere. You can watch an NBA game
That
one day
is
and you'll see a Rider
egregious.
jersey. I'm like, hey, look, Saskatchewan Roughriders. And it's like, well, does that make sense? And
No, it doesn't.
I'm all over the place. with
What
that
I'll
one.
forgive is if it's a Draisaitl jersey because he was a WHLer, or Nugent Hopkins because he was a WHL guy. It's fine.
Get their jersey.
Get a T-shirt.
Get a Rockets or Rebels jersey.
Yeah.
There is a very long corridor. I know you want to read this liner, but there's a very, very long corridor between the club sections at Rogers Place that has about 100 gray walls.
Yeah.
Screaming for some kind of character.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's actually one thing I always thought with Rogers Place was that there was just too many bare walls.
Yes.
And I thought they'd fill out over the years.
think
Haven't
so.
done it enough. The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada Storage actors more than 2 decades, helping Canadians through life transition. Canadian storage provider, sentinel.ca. Did have a question. I know you're in the nasty chat the one day that it came up last week, but want to get your thoughts here about it because Belsey was bringing up the Dub winning the Memorial Cup, and it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Do you sense an issue with why the WHL hasn't, or why do you think the WHL
It's
hasn't?
not. It's not because it's watered down. It's, in my opinion, if there is a reason, and it's not just because it's a random, like flip a coin each time. It's because the geography of the league's too big, and you're exhausted by the time you get to the Memorial Cup because you're traveling. Once you get to the final, usually it's a plane, so that's okay, and it's equal for both teams. But like if you got Brandon and Edmonton, that's like a 15, 16-hour bus ride that they don't have in the OHL. Anything over 1,000 kilometers in the queue, they fly. So it's a little bit different. That would be, if there was a change over the next 10, 15 years that I would not be against, it would be to split the WHL in half and create a fourth CHL league, the PHL, the Pacific Hockey League. Have BC and down the West Coast with the US division. And, right now, with the 2 new teams coming in, that'll be 13. Maybe you get it up to 16. And then with the West,
The Prairies.
yep. Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Maybe you get into North Dakota. They got 2 North American Hockey League teams and a USHL team. Snap those 3 up. Get back maybe Billings, Montana again. League used to be there at one point.
I just wonder, how would you do the
Get back
Memorial
into
Cup at
Winnipeg?
that point?
Just rotate it.
But who get like?
Oh, but
like,
you
you
wouldn't
could
have a
s-
host team.
But then why would you want to host it?
Get all the money. Get all the money.
But it'd be like, I think, isn't that one of the, like, you host because then you're going to put it together, you're going to get set up, but then it's easier to fill the barn knowing that our team's in it.
That's true.
That would be the only concern I'd have out of that is how do you get around having the host team for it?
Yeah. Maybe you got to put it in a market where you're not super concerned with not getting attendance. But
There's no way the Memorial Cup's ever coming to Edmonton, is there?
not as long as
The Oilers are good.
they share a building.
No.
Prince George to Portland distance. That can't be that's got to be a long trip.
That's a long bus ride.
12 hours and 35 minutes, according to
Yeah.
Google.
And I don't know if they flew or if they bust. I don't know that. They did play 2-3-2 though.
That's a tough one. That was a first round series as well.
Yeah.
That's a good theory for it. I'd have to say, yeah, because when you're thinking what would be the longest bus ride in the O, it's not that.
I talked
It's
to
not
play-by-play guys out there who say like how many nights in a hotel do you guys spend in a season? It could be like 6, 7. I'm like, that's a single road trip
Yep.
in the WHL. That's all season. Yeah. It's completely different.
Game changer.
WHL have a chance this year?
Well, the top team right now is Moncton. the Wildcats, and the next top team is the London Knights, and the hosts Rimouski are ranked number 3. So based on that, it will
Uphill
be tough. Yeah. But the parity in the WHL this year is exceptional. So you've got the Everett Silvertips, and I think I've picked Spokane and Calgary to come out of the league and meet in the final. Either one of those two teams will be a handful. The Spokane Chiefs are so offensive, and Calgary's a big, strong, tough, physical team. So I certainly would not suggest that they're going to be blown out.
Next year it's in Kelowna, or 2 years it's in Kelowna?
Next year.
Next year it's in Kelowna.
And they are currently in last place in the conference.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
They're going to have a quick...
They
They need a really quick rebuild, possibly.
they have a huge task ahead of them to just make the playoffs, let alone be a contending team nationally.
What happened to Kelowna? Because they were like a perennial powerhouse. What's going on?
I don't know. Since while it was the dry cycle, since then,
2015.
they've really just kind of been spinning their wheels. I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on what it would be. There are some teams that just seem to never really get over the hump. And then there are other teams like Portland who, and Edmonton that
Get there.
take a run at it every 3 or 4 years, 5 years.
Blade's one of those teams?
I have a lot of respect for the way they've turned that franchise around. And it could be they were swept in the first round after being they were the top team last year. Just didn't get there in the playoffs, but they could be right back up there in the next year or two again. They've done a good job of recouping their assets, and tip of the hat to Mr. Tenser and Mr. Priestner.
They've done good.
Does anyone? Maybe I'll have to ask Eric. They going ahead with the downtown arena, or is that still being discussed in Saskatoon?
I hadn't heard that.
I know. I remember there was discussion of that a while ago. So I'm going to guess
Prince Albert
that's
is
not
getting
going
a new
anywhere.
rink.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're stopping at the 2 for the expansion, because I know there was rumblings of a third.
No, as far as I know, it'll just be the 2, so it'll be 24. And right now, it would be 13 in that conference and 11 in this one. And there's some talk about how do you balance it, and it would be moving Prince George into this conference. And then my first thought is, how do you have Prince George and Brandon in the same conference?
Nope.
It's a 15, 16-hour bus ride from Edmonton to Brandon. I mean, you'd only do it once a year, I'm sure, and you'd play 2 games there.
At some point, you have to change some rules, though, and allow flights then somehow.
Yeah.
Or
get a WHL flight.
Create a fourth CHL.
That's fair.
That's a good idea. Who gets WHL rights?
Well, it goes with territory. So all the BC kids and all down California, and that it's going to be a boom in the Pacific Northwest.
But they get
now.
they'll be the WHL.
No, they would be PHL.
And so the Dub stays.
Dub would still get
Prairies.
Minnesota, the Prairies, Minnesota.
Because I was where is it the
Dallas,
Prairie
Colorado?
Or is it the Prairie Hockey League in the West Coast? Gets the Western Hockey League.
No, we would keep the Western Hockey League.
Here.
They would get the P for the Pacific Hockey League.
Saskatoon. I did not know this.
Although that would work the other way too. The Prairie Hockey League or the
and
Western
then it's the
Hockey
West.
League. Sure. No, the WHL's head office is in Calgary.
Okay.
They get to keep it.
Saskatoon proposed $1.2 billion development.
What?
1.2
downtown.
bill.
Yeah.
Maybe the St.
downtown
Louis Blues
arena
will
and
relocate
district.
after all.
15,900 seat arena with an associated entertainment district. Monumental step toward constructing the proposed downtown event and entertainment district. Carries an estimated price tag of $1.22 billion.
Man.
If approved, the city would be able to put the finishing touches on the financial blueprints to have the project, quote unquote, shelf ready if provincial and federal money becomes available.
Just that.
Yes.
Just the money from both the province and the feds.
Here's the breakdown. The city said it will not begin planning construction until the project is fully funded. If it is, city expects construction to take about 5 to 6 years. Event center / arena, $632 million. TCU Place Convention Center renovation and expansion, $221 million. Sid Buckwald Theater renovation, $52 million. Initial infrastructure improvements, parkade and land assembly, $254 million. The project went to vote on August 28th of 2024. I don't know how that vote ended up going.
Who paid for the stadium in Regina, the football stadium?
Taxpayers did.
I'd have to assume. I'm going to guess taxpayer money went to that one. It
Oh.
is the Riders.
4 days ago, CTV Saskatoon. Arena on pause amid economic uncertainty.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Guy Flaming from the Pipeline Show, pipelineshow.com. You can catch it also right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Saturdays at noon, and Monday replay around 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Right after MCTV,
7
I
o'clock.
believe.
Yeah, MCTV 6. So you guys are you're at 7.
Oh, really? Okay.
What, just more WHL this week plan?
Well, Frozen 4 is on Thursday. So I do have a preview of the Frozen 4, which I think I'm recording tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a quick turnaround. That might not. Well, that might get released on its own, but then included for the show this weekend, just for some content. But there'll be definitely followed after tonight's Game 7. Knock on wood. Hopefully, we're talking Oil Kings and Tigers next week.
Victory Plus.
Victory Plus, yes. If you haven't, it's absolutely free, and you can watch. Where's the camera? Absolutely 100% free. All you have to do is sign up with your email and a password for yourself, and it's available anywhere on the planet for free.
I'll be watching.
It's perfect.
Oilers don't play tonight, so something to do. And you could have
Bell and
two
Stoney.
screens, watch Bell, Trey Terrell forward with Dusty and Reed on
Right.
one, watch the Oil Kings on the other, and hopefully, as he says, second round. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. Anytime.
Good
Most
job,
times.
Brendan.
Thanks.
On behalf of Tommy, Brendan, the intern, Guy Flaming, I'm Matt Awani. Thanks for tuning into the EST Angle presented by Sentinel Storage. On your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, up next it is Lock Shop. We've got 2 guys and a goalie, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, all to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Again, Lock Shop coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Awani, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.